Well, the rain is gone. It's sunny today. It's actually quite hot on the porch right now. So the solar porch is doing its job. Let me see inside here. It's 65 inside with no heat today. I am framing in. These are not by any means straight or set in place properly. I'm just setting these in to get an idea. I'm going to frame the door in and have it 2 foot wide and only 3 foot high. That will give a huge area up here for the trap heat. So this whole area will be closed. And I don't need a massive door to just open that barrel and toss in some heat or some wood. I want to keep the door as small as possible to minimize heat loss and make this job easier anyway. So I'm going to make it 2 foot wide by 3 foot high, which is going to be big enough, as I said, for me to crawl under, lean in through, or I can crawl into the stove room if I have to with a 3 foot high door. So that'll be fine. So anyway, I'm working on that right now. Over here I've got my framing for the width, which isn't too bad. So I'm just about to cut the third piece and get this going here. Well, there's my door frame so far. It's I think it's going to be fine. I can perfectly, very comfortably reach here. Oh yeah, this is great. I have no problem here. I have no problem with this. Reaching in. There's plenty of room from the top of the door frame to the floor to reach through here and stoke the fire. I think that's a fine doorway. Now I'm making this small, again, for a purpose, so that there's less possible heat loss around the door frame. Smaller door is going to be less heat loss, and I can still crawl through a 36-inch high hole and get up inside there with no problem. So this is going to be alright. Now I just have to find some metal and fill these side holes in, and this big top piece is going to be one piece, and then that side here. So I have to go scrounging around for some scrap metal and see what I can do here, and then make this little door. And yeah, and that's pretty much it then. The wood is warped, unfortunately. Everything's damp out here. This wood I had in my storage tent, it was standing up and dry, but it's warped from the humidity. So believe it or not, although it looks really bad, I don't know if you can see it on the camera, it looks really bad, but it's all square and level. I checked it. It's just that the wood is bowed so badly, makes it look off. Nothing I can do about that. Already my door and my porch is warped anyway from the humidity. So anyway, it's coming along. Hopefully by the end of today I'll have this framed, because it's going to be 25 degrees at night starting this weekend already. And for those in the UK, that's way below freezing. I had some people ask me for some conversions. That's way below freezing temperature. Starting to look more like home in here every day. I brought that little cabinet inside, and got some little kitchen stuff in there. My plastic silverware and stuff is in there, so I can put some utensils in here as needed. But I'm getting it cleaned up, looking nice. That's a garbage bag. I don't have a trash can yet, but I'm working on it. But I also have a plastic container that goes here, that holds my socks and stuff, and some extra clothing. And eventually I still want to get a shelf up here. I'm not quite sure how I'm going to do that yet, because this is higher than I had intended on having up here, but I'll figure it out. But it's looking nice. I cleaned it up and brought it in. I'll give it some wood oil later on. But I still have a lot of space up here to work with, and I also have those IKEA organizers that I want to hook up one day in here. I'm still trying to figure out how best to use them. Thinking about actually having a putting one down and then having a board across on top on a frame, and then put another on top of that, which actually I might put in the middle of the front of the RV between the seats. Okay, I've gotten a lot of suggestions from people. I'm sure there's more going to pour in, but I probably won't get to this today yet anyway. I'm probably going to run the duct from under the bed, inside the wood stove, come around underneath the bed frame, through the wall, behind the toilet, past the cat litter, and then underneath the bathroom sink. Now what that'll help do is pull air from all over throughout the RV. It'll suck in through between the doors, which I don't have on anymore or yet anyway. It'll suck some air through here. It'll suck some air from behind the shower area. It'll suck air from everywhere and pretty much help cause a circular flow of air. So basically I'll have air coming from the bathroom area as I had planned, but I'll go past the litter box and bring it in through behind the toilet, under the bed, into the stove shed, causing a high pressure area. Heated air will then be brought in from the shed to the bedroom. So for now I'm still closing that shed in, which I'll show you in a minute here. Well, it keeps raining. I keep grabbing my tools out and starting to work, and then it rains, so I keep rushing and put my tools back. I've pulled out a whole mess of wood scraps that I want to cut up. I had them out in the sun drying, and then it rains, and then it dries, and then it rains, and then it dries. I was hoping to dry these out and use them. It's going to be 25 degrees this weekend and at night, so I want to get these cut into little pieces to burn. Now I'm going to show you, a lot of people have suggested I run the duct across the whole back of this RV and up in behind the shower. The problem is I can't get the duct. See, the duct would have to start over here behind the cat litter box, go up into the bathroom, up under through the bed. There is no duct going through there, and never was any duct going into the bedroom. So that option is not going to happen anyway. It never existed. And all the heating came from around here. Now there was a duct that went into the bathroom and blew through over here and blew into the bathroom out by the toilet. But that's gone, and the mice had eaten it up back inside here, and they had, this was full of fiberglass insulation up in this area and up in under the shower, and the mice have destroyed that whole area, and I can't get anything through there. Those of you who might remember, I had a struggle getting the water pipes through there. It was a hard time getting tiny thin little water pipes through there. So I will never get an air duct through there now. And all the heating is on this side of the RV. The original furnace is way up there, up near the front, up under the kitchen sink. And then the ducts blow into the living room from there, into the kitchen, into the bedroom from this side. And then a hose went around underneath the shower, across through the back of the RV, and blew into the bathroom. So again, all the heating was on this side. Now all the heating is on this side. So optimally, maybe it would have been better to put the shed on the back of the RV, but then I wouldn't have this solar porch, which conveniently is a air trap. When I enter the door of the RV, part of the reason I designed it like this, I have to open this door, enter into a warmed room, sun-warmed room, so I have to open this door and close it behind me. So there I've already got like an airlock type of a setup. And then I go into the RV. So I'm not losing as much cold, or I'm not losing as much heated air this way by going through two doorways into the RV. So that's why I put the porch on the front, to go into the RV through a closed area. So now I have to pipe the heat from this side, and it's not going this way. It's not going to go back to the other side of the RV through here ever again. It's just not going to work. So what I can do is run the duct from the bedroom through here and end it somewhere back in here, and that will then suck air from all areas into the duct and out through the system. So that's probably how I'm going to do it then. I'll have to put the camera away, it's raining. So I've pulled in a pile of wood. There's a couple pieces over here. This is enough to get me through the weekend, believe it or not. This is Saturday night. I don't need it yet, but around 6 o'clock this evening I'm going to have to start burning wood. And I'll burn half this tonight and the other half tomorrow night. And that's all I need. And that's why I chose a 20-gallon barrel. I knew that from last year's experience I don't need to burn that much wood to heat the RV. My camper, that little pot-bellied stove, couldn't even take some of these pieces of wood. That was about as thick around as it could get, and half that length. And 2 of these would be filling the chamber up. I mean, that log cut in half would have filled the pot-bellied stove. Now with this big one I've got, these 3 will fill the stove. There's 3 pieces there. That's a full load right there. And this is if I want a faster burn, I use smaller pieces. Now, I've got some locust wood that somebody had given me. I only know it is what it is because that's what she told me. That is going to burn hard and long. So that'll be a good overnighter. But anyway, this barrel stove is small and it's not going to use much fuel. So I can use smaller pieces of wood, and this little bit is all I need for one night. And that's why I use the 20 instead of the 50-gallon barrel. Well, the rain is lightened up a little. While I'm thinking about this camper is done as a camper. It will not be slept in again. It's not going to travel anymore either, because the walls have sunk and sagged on the frame. This, if this puts this in perspective maybe, this here was supposed to be up here. Look at how far that sagged below the bumper. This is supposed to be up here, and it has sagged and fallen below the bumper. It's about a good 3 inches below where it's supposed to be. The whole floor has sagged below the frame. So the floor sinks outwards all the way across the whole camper and in the middle. And it's disgusting. The whole floor inside is terrible. The framing around the door I had to redo myself all the way around. There was no framing. Had to goop and silicone everything. Anyway, to put a long story short, this camper's not going anywhere. That door never did work. That door is actually, there's nothing holding that together anymore except for duct tape and aluminum tape. That door is destroyed, ruined. There's no framing left. And actually from here forward, there's no framing in the walls of the camper. From here forward, there's nothing holding this together except for tape, inside and out. There's nothing in there. It's all gone. So the thing, a lot of people suggest, why don't you use the metal from this to fix up my shed, my stove shed. Well, because I'm still using this as storage and my electronics workshop for now. I did clean it inside, and I did stop the water leaks, and it is holding the water out. Look at the sun coming out now after raining. It's been an odd day. Well, anyway, I'm going to continue using this as a storage place and a workshop for now. But next year, I'd like to gut this out and strip it down to the bare frame completely. And what I'm thinking is building a tiny house on this frame. And building from the back forward, having somewhere probably up to here, a little more than maybe 2/3 of the frame will have a house on it. And I'm thinking about building slide outs on the front and the back side for extended living space. And then right about here, from here forward, having a porch. So what I'll have is a flat floor and then a roof with some beams coming down, and maybe even screening that off, and I'll have a raised porch area. I think this is going to be really cool. So that's an idea for next year. So because this camper isn't going anywhere. It's pretty much done for a camper. And after the winter, it's gonna do its purpose for this winter, and then I'll gut it. Anyway, that's the theory. So I just thought I'd let you know that and share it with you. I've got the generator running, and I'm pushing 55 amps now from the charger. You can hear the generator is bogged hard. It's got it set to 55 amps. I can show you this. There, 55 amps going in. And that generator is working hard. You can hear it really working. But I've done the break-in period, so now I can run it. It's supposed to be an 800 watt generator, so let's see what this thing can do. I had to run 5 tanks of gas through it before I could really run it full out. So this is the biggest load I've ever put on it. This charger is capable of 55 amps. So I just want to make sure that my wires in here are not going to get warm from taking so much current. It seems everything's fine. I find that these wires that came with it are pretty small. 8 gauge for 55 amps I find to be pretty small, but anyway, as long as nothing gets hot. I'll just keep an eye on it. I just don't trust 8 gauge. But I'll just keep an eye on it and make sure the wires don't get hot. Now I'm back inside. I'm just going to check the voltage here. It is, let me refocus. It's showing 12.6 volts at the charge controller, only pulling in 2 amps from the solar panels. Midday, 3 o'clock in the afternoon, pulling in 2 amps from the solar panels. It's not good at all. That's really bad. 24 watts is all I'm getting out of a potential 800 watts of solar panels. So these panels I have are great for full sun, but terrible for cloudy conditions. They do nothing in clouds. 23 watts from 800. That's ridiculous. So I'm not getting any charging. Now the batteries are at 60 degrees, so that's not too bad. Warmer would be better, and I'd probably have more capacity. So I'm just going to run this generator for a couple hours at 55 amps, and even then it would still take, well, 55, that's 50, 100 is 2 hours is only 100 amp hours. So it's going to take some charging. Well, I used the last piece of metal from around the old camper skirting. There was one sheet, and I cut it to fit. Now I cut out the piece for the door, and now the stove is pretty much isolated. I made a mess inside. I have to clean it up and reposition the heat shielding, but I got that now in place. I'm still screwing it together on the edges. I've got 3 screws across this frame here, and I'm going to continue screwing it in place, and then I'll have to use aluminum duct work tape along all the edges and corners and gaps, because this, I don't know why, I tried to measure it, but working with metal is brutal, and it's a little bit off, so I'm going to have an air gap. So I'll tape it. I'm going to tape and seal all the corners and seams in here today, and I'm trying to get ready for the cold weekend that's coming. 25 degrees is going to be rough, so hopefully I'll have this all done tonight. At least, it's not going to be done for a long time, but I mean at least the framing in, and I'll have it closed in at least tonight. It's 65 in and only 43, 44 out today. High of 44 today. That's it, max. That's all we're going to get. This is Sunday. It's only 12 o'clock. I'm still home. I have afternoon church, but I just wanted to show you the temperature. I have the wood stove going, and I am heating the place up because it is just so cold. I feel actually very nice warm air blowing in here now. Very nice warm air, because I closed up the stove the other day, or the shed I should say, and now I'm getting a lot better warmth coming out of there. And just to show you, the bedroom is 64 and the porch is 56. The sun just came out, so it's warming up the porch as well, and that makes a difference. So it's not a heat wave by any means having this on right now, but I have it just dampered right down. 64 is fine for me right now, and I'm comfortable. But with it being in the 40s outside like that, and I feel the difference. I feel a lot of difference from the warm air moving from that fan right now. And I haven't done the duct underneath yet. I just wanted to get this shed. I do one step at a time and see what the results are. And the step I did yesterday was sealing that up. 27 out. It's supposed to be 25 tonight. 64.5, 65 in. Not bad. It's what time is it? Clock change. It's quarter to 11 at night. 27 out, 65 in, just with the wood stove. Can't complain about that at all.